So, got another 310. Probably saw that community post I put up the other day. This was a Withered Fig collaboration with Viberg. They didn't have this on the Viberg site. It actually has some really cool specs that Viberg honestly wouldn't do. So I appreciate companies like Withered Fig and others actually forcing Viberg to make kind of a good boot, because what they offer on their site typically is not very exciting. A couple things, typical Viberg unboxing, experience you see over here with you get the nicer box. This is actually kind of like the older boxes where it's, like smooth and soft. You get the extra laces, you get the rawhide end, the nice, whatever these are, these wax cotton ones are really nice. A little card and, kind of all the hullabaloo. But more importantly, the boot. Interesting features. This is a huge one. Vibram 430. You never see this on Vibergs, just in general, at least, for the past, recent history. And because of that, it actually has a taller heel. I grabbed my antique Phoenix. This is my last 310 purchase. So you can see the kind of comparison here. It's more than a 1/4 inch taller. It's like a good centimeter. Part of it, I think, is the top lift of the 430 is thicker than the day-night top lift, and then the sole itself is thicker. You see the black line there in the actual heel. So those two combined equals, a pretty substantially thicker heel. I'll put this up closer to the camera here so you can see. If I align them there, you can see how much taller it is, or align them with the bottom. So anyway, this is a much taller heel, or sorry, a noticeably taller heel compared to, the regular 310, which you always get on day night. Like, that's just what they always do. Other features, let me get this out of the way. It has, actually I don't think this is too unique. They're calling them like coffee or some silly name for the eyelets. But, looking at this other pair, I would say these are a little bit darker. These aren't just brass, they have some kind of antiquing. These are darker, but I would say they're similar to just an antique brass eyelet. Coffee is just kind of like, marketing term. Cap toe, brogue cap toe, to be honest. If you ever see BCT, I see that, or I saw that, and always wondered what the hell that meant a long time ago, and I had to look it up to see what people were talking about. But that's what, obviously the holes are the broguing, and it's a cap toe, brogue cap toe, but I guess it's sort of like a Viberg acronym. Guess that's it as far as, I guess more unique features for as of late. The big piece here, this is the Marine Field Shoe N1, I think is what the box calls it. This just says Horween Marine Field Shoe, but I think they call these all the N1. I was just looking at the box. It's reverse natural CXL, basically. So you probably have heard of this stuff. There's been a lot of companies doing these makeups. So this is just, the tongue is actually the same thing. They just didn't reverse the tongue. So, you're seeing, and this is split down, the tongue's thinner, I think. Feels definitely thinner, but they just flipped it inside out. So now you have kind of like a tan rough out, or not, I don't know, it's like lighter than tan. Tan I always feel like is more yellow. This is more, I don't know, like not beige, but very muted, cool color. Summery maybe. I'm, kind of hoping for some safari vibe. Pair this up with my various tan pants. I don't know how this would look with denim. We'll see. Probably would look a little bit, I don't know, weird, but I think the tan and maybe green. I have a pair of green 511 Levi's I think would work well. Might have to grab some olive pants or something. Had some Dockers, but I dumped them. Anyway, it's a really cool makeup. Had to go for it. Unfortunately, someone told me about it. I don't keep track of Withered Fig, but a friend on a Discord mentioned it, so I was able to get in there. They sold out pretty quick. They sold out of a few sizes within hours of it dropping. I bought the 10.5 like usual, but I was a little bit weary about, I wonder what an 11 would feel like. I've never tried an 11 in the 310. I wear these with a thinner sock, like my other 310s, but I was just curious, literally thought about doing crazy and buying a 10.5 and an 11, then returning the one that fit worse. And then I looked closely at their site and it says they don't do refunds. They only do store credit. And I'm like, well, that's too much money to put out. I know my 10.5s have generally worked. This pair is the only one that's questionable. It still fits, but there's a couple things. It feels a little bit tighter for whatever reason. This is the antique Phoenix, but more than that, there's something going on with the footbed. It just feels like the arch is like taller compared to the other two pairs, my Tobacco Phoenix and my original English Tan Dublin. These fit more like the other ones, where the footbed feels, I guess you could say, more flat. There's not any pressure on the arch. I don't know if it's on the arch or I think it's the right boot. No, it's the left boot. It's the boot that has kind of a gap. I think I did like an unboxing of these, a short maybe. There's a gap on the heel and it kind of goes out more on one of them, on the left one. I think that's what I was feeling. It's almost like the Thomas heel that Alden does, where comes in more, which ends up kind of pushing your arch up more. And I think it was unintentional, where they just didn't sand the other heel maybe exactly right. And maybe my foot's sensitive, I don't know. But this seems like it fits better. I put them on for about 20 minutes. Very cool, typical 310, that chonk toe. It's a real beefy toe. I love it. I love the shape and the look. Look at the profile from the side. These look freaking awesome. Love the 310s look. And I love Horween. Probably my favorite tannage would be the Dublins. Natural Dublin and English Tan Dublin are super dope. CXL is also really nice, and I've always liked natural CXL. I have one other pair of Oak Streets in this leather, and it's cool. And the smell and everything is nice. It's just a comfortable leather. It's really easy. Everybody has brown CXL boots, I think, including me, like some old Wolverines, but I've been kind of curious with all the different people. I think Viberg, not this, but on this Viberg site had a N1 shoe or boot. All the military inspired. Oak Street did one. Truman, I think, did one. It seems like everybody was doing them last year and this year, or maybe it was this year only. And it got me curious. And then when I saw this, I was like, I got to do it. And the 430 is it's like a requirement. It's a better sole. It's definitely more comfortable, softer than the day-night. I'm not a day-night hater like some people. It's super durable, but it is kind of a little bit harder. It reminds me of the Quabog heels. They definitely have a lot more durability, but they're maybe not so comfortable. Yeah, that's it. I guess other than that, they give you the plastic bags, which is really cool of Viberg, because it prevents the boots from getting beaten up in shipment because they're bouncing around inside the box. It seems silly, but it really works. Those plastic bags beat the tissue that everyone else is doing as far as keeping them in nicer shape. Don't see any other real issues with them. One of the boots has a little bit of glue on the toe, which I don't think will be the end of the world, but we'll see. Hopefully it rubs off. And then I did actually notice something that's pretty impressive. When you see stitch down boots with cap toes, typically where the extra layers are kind of stacked here, it can kind of get messy and curvy, and this is super clean. So Viberg really does a good job with that. I mean, you could almost not even tell there's an extra layer there. So that's really impressive. So yeah, I'll probably wear these tomorrow. I wanted to record this video before I put them on and got them all filthy. So these have only been worn on carpet for a few minutes. Expensive, but nice. I think they might have a few sizes left, but probably not. So if you go check them out, they're probably sold out, but they were a cool run. Hopefully there'll be more stuff like this. I did see that they have the mushroom chamois on Viberg's site. That's interesting, but too similar to my other ones. Anyway, later.